Hello Gemini, this is your extended reading. So I feel like this extended is the part where you make the decision. It's like the pressure that you're feeling that is growing up on you. It's like it's this pressure from the universe, that is starting to intensify and to push you to make this decision, to finally speak it, to make it happen, to voice it in a sense, but also to manifest it. And so I feel like there is a little bit of hesitation in your part, but is like you're feeling the pressure. So you're like, okay, I'm going to make the decision. I already know what I have to pick, what I have to do, what option is best, even though it's a high risk. And whatever unfolds after that, it feels like it's going to affect you big time, because it's going to affect, whatever thing provided you with solidity and security and comfort. And so it's almost like, even though you took your time to do all of this consideration, all of this contemplation of all the possibilities and all the outcomes that could, come from the decision that you made, it's like, even though you tried to anticipate whatever was going to come afterwards, I feel like you are still in a bit of a funk, or in a bit of a not bad mood, but it's like you're making this worse than it has to be, even though you have made the decision. It's like you are still unsure. It's like it's too big, it's too bold, it's a big risk. And even though you made the decision, it's like you're still staring at it like, oh my god, what have I done? It's like, should I think things through more, or was this, the best decision? But I feel like it's like, now that you have voiced it, it's like things are developing in a way that it's beyond your control. So now you're just this witness to whatever manifestation unfolds from this decision of yours, which could be, it's neutral, right? It's like, it's just that you're making it worse than it really is. So we begin the extended with the Ace of Swords, and this card came through as you making the decision. So when this card popped, after the ending of the first part that we saw, it's almost like you're being cornered to make a decision, but it's like this pressure that it's not made by anyone but just the universe, as in, like, this is pretty obvious. It's like there is no way out. Don't try to make this longer than it needs to be. It's like, it's pretty obvious. Yes, it's a high risk, but it's going to be it's like it's going to bring happiness ultimately, right? With the Sun card, and it's going to be magical, right? With the Magician. So this is you, after you're being cornered, it's like, okay, I'll decide for this. I'll go for this. And whatever it is, it's going to be it's going to be big. I was, trying to find a word that could encompass the Magician and the Sun, but also this card, the Tower, that is coming through after the Ace of Swords. And so this is the unfolding of, it's like this domino effect, right? Once you voice your decision, even though you are feeling the pressure, it's like you're inside this pressure cook, right? And it's like the water is already boiling, things are already happening. And so voice it, because it's going to be easier for you, although I feel like you're still struggling a little bit, or you're still in disbelief that you had made a choice after thinking for so long about making this choice, right? And once you do and things get real, it's like you're a little bit, it's like, oh my god, what have I done? So the Tower, usually, the Tower brings me the image of something very stable, very reliable, like this home that is very protective, that is very nurturing also. But because, so we have these other cards here. We have the Knight of Swords and the Seven of Swords. And this Seven of Swords, actually, it felt like this, right? It felt on the ground, upside down, and I turned it, but it didn't want to be turned upright. It wanted to be turned upside down, but we'll get there. And so this is it's like, this signal, this voicing, this sound signal to the universe that you have finally made your choice and that you picked this brilliant but perhaps expensive or risky choice, right? Which is going to feel magical and a bit overwhelming, perhaps, blinding, since you were not seeing it. It's like if you had this blindfold on that was, getting uncomfortable by the minute. It's like once you let go of the blindfold and you stare into the sun, it feels really blinding, right? It is uncomfortable. So I apologize for the noise. So with this Knight of Swords here, and especially with this Seven of Swords, what I saw actually was, when people are in a bad mood, right? And everything else in their lives externally seem to reflect that bad mood. So it's like everything is going to go wrong if inside it's wrong, right? So it's like this dark cloud that you're carrying on top of you, right? Staring at perhaps whatever you thought was very stable, being completely transformed, completely impacted by this decision of yours, right? Because it's something that is your decision to make. So it's almost like you're staring at this old house or this old stability or this old place or this, well, perhaps, it's old in a sense of now it's being shifted because of your decision. But because you're still hesitant, or you're still in disbelief, or you're still, in a funk, right? Impacted by how things are unfolding now with such grandiosity, right? The only major arcana here are talking about the choice that you have that was, shiny, but it was, this high risk that impacts your home life, your stability, your financial security, whatever was solid, right? And so this is being affected, and you're looking from the outside in disbelief of how this decision of yours, it's actually, feeling like a bad move, or feeling like, it's like you're creating this rainfall over you. So wherever you go, it doesn't matter where you look at, this impact in this place of stability. It's like you're always going to feel like it was a bad decision, but it wasn't, right? That's the thing, Gemini. It's like it's just because you're carrying this dark cloud over your head. So it's not giving you the clarity that you need to make this distinction in your mind that in reality things are more liberating. It's like this sword is coming through as, very freeing, but since you were or you feel like you were pressured to make this decision, right, by others, it's almost like you're blaming yourself, thinking that this was not a decision that was made by you. Perhaps you were feeling like it was a pressure from another, right? Or from, if this Queen of Pentacles is another person, perhaps it was, influenced by them. But it's like, it's in your hands, right? So it's like, do not make this harder on yourself than it needs to be. It's like, just observe it from afar. observe the impact of your decision, knowing that it's going to change the stability, perhaps momentarily, right? I'm not seeing this crumbling to the ground okay, so I'm going to rephrase that. It's not that things are not going to drastically change. I feel like it's just that you are now just seeing the destruction part of it, or the changing part of it, right? Or the great impact of this decision in something that was already established, or was already very, very okay, right? It was already providing you with the safety that you needed, in a sense. And so these cards here, so we have the King of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups, which is mind-blowing to me to think that we have 777, like we have 3 sevens. And it's something that actually I saw in the I believe it was the Cancer extended reading that Sen posted this past week. I think the name was Starlink. And so in the extended, she talks about this alignment of 3 sevens, where when the third 7 was yet to take shape, right, to come into being. And so to have 3 sevens here, right, starting with the swords, and in this reverse position, which I don't usually read, right? But this is coming through more as a dark cloud, as in like this mental funk that you're in, right? Thinking that everything is now going to go down in a really bad way, right? That you didn't anticipate, and you wish you had more time to think. But because we have these other 2 sevens here, and we have the King of Swords, right? So you, even though, you know, you came strongly as the Queen of Swords, and even though this Queen of Pentacles could be another person, or could be you, right? As in like another facet of you, just your ability to deal with practical matters, and to deal with, you know, your mental issues, or your mental knowingness that this decision has to be made. So whether you were pressured by another person in your reality, in your world, or if this pressure was just something that was in your mind, like this, you know, this uncomfortable nudge from the universe, like there's no time more to wait. It's like the decision has to be made. And so in making this decision, right, whether it is in your time frame or not, and I feel like it's probably not, but it's just because you're in this deadline, right? There's anything else to think about. Like everything that you had to think was already thought about. And so even though you are making the decision, it's like you're not too happy with the outcome at first, I want to say, because it's almost like you're removed from the safety, or from the, well, perhaps just the familiarity that this tower provided you so far, right? And so being outside of this comfort, right? Perhaps, you know, this is a higher risk that is, you know, taking you, taking you from your comfort zone. But it's not just, you know, a few steps away. It's like a long way from your comfort zone. So it's like perhaps there is this dark cloud following you wherever you go, because it's inside your head, right? But so this King of Swords could be, you know, your partner, your husband, your wife, or, you know, whoever this King of Swords represents, in a way that is very complimentary to you, is very supportive of you. It's like they are there to... It's interesting because yesterday the Taurus reading was very much, you know, the perspective of Taurus being there for their partner. And I feel like for you, Gemini, it's almost like the opposite situation. It's like you're going through this very intense decision making that is going to shift the way that you perceive your life, right? Perhaps your home life, your life overall, that was very safe, but now it's going through this whirlwind of change. And so it's like they're going to help you see that this dark cloud is only there because you're feeding it. And so replacing it with the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups, it's like they are there to show you that even though your world, your life, your home, your work, whatever was safe to you that is no longer there, or that has been drastically changed, right? Ripping the insides out to make a renovation, or I'm just, bringing something to the bones is how I'm hearing. Because, the Seven of Pentacles is talking about, going to the essential elements of it. It's almost like the structure. It's like everything else had to be cleansed or put down, because it's like the essential structure has to be, like, you have to go to the bones of the structure to find, that the safety is still there, but there's something about the bones. I don't know exactly what it is. It's just like going to the core of the structure, right? And this is not your bones. I don't think so. I feel like this is like the core structure of what was holding this old facade in place, right? Perhaps the facade is, being brought down, and you only can see the foundation, in a sense, which is very good, right? And this is what they're reminding of you. So even though for you is a bit draining, is a bit chaotic, is a bit too much, it's like it's only in your mind. And when you feed that, it doesn't matter if you see it from another perspective. It's always going to be there. So this partner of yours is there to remind you that when you see the bones of it, when you see the exposed structure, when you see the core of the effects of this choice that you made, it's like it's going to be nurturing again. It's going to feel like you have a cozy home, in a sense, right? It's always, now that I'm thinking of this, it's coming through as, perhaps a huge purchase, or, this decision to, renovate completely your home. So it's like it's a big task, right? It's really, it can be, a lot to take in, with one decision. It's like you say go and it starts, and everything that felt very comfortable, very cozy, very protective, very safe, very secure, very stable is now flipped upside down, right? Flipped upside down. And so allow this one to give you another perception that you're not able to see because your mind is clouded. And so in seeing the structure in their bones, right, in seeing the core elements exposed because of your decision, it's a good thing, because you're going to find the safety again. The Seven of Cups is coming through as the coziness that you will find within the structure, because the structure, the main foundation is still there, right? The core elements are still there. It's just that it's being filled now with another facade, in a sense, right? One that is very much more it's much more nurturing. It's like very emotionally fulfilling. It's going to feel like a warm embrace from this new place, in a sense. So it is a bit chaotic, it is a bit nerve-wracking, and perhaps there is pressure for you to make this decision. But remember, when I was talking about like having it all to go all in, it's not only about you and your own mind, right? Because I feel like still in your own mind, it's like seeing the first effects it's going to cause you a little bit of nervousness, right? Or just, you know, it's like it's huge. It's like it's finally going to hit you. That is a big endeavor. It was risky. It was, you know, really pricey perhaps. But it's also going to be extremely fascinating and extremely joyous and extremely, it's like it's going to bring you the happiness that perhaps you're not sensing. You're even afraid of, you know, undertaking this task or choosing this option, but know that you have this knowing inside, this is the best decision. You have the resources, or you have the person that has the resources, and you have an incredible partner, I want to say. Whoever is beside you, right? This doesn't have to be, you know, your husband or a wife. It could be just someone that is, you know, standing beside you and giving you the reminders that is necessary for you now to see that whatever you're filtering with this dark cloud that's over you, it's like it's actually a good thing. It's actually going to bring things to their bones, in a sense, to expose how they can be now filled with love, right? And, you know, these very warm emotion, it's coming, this Seven of Cups is coming through as, you know, very enriching, very nurturing, and it's going to cover this new structure with love. So yeah, this can play out in so many ways, but it's coming through as home renovation somehow. And actually, you know, I'm going to add the bottom of the deck, which is the Hermit. So for a time, your comfort, right, because you're being removed from this comfort that you knew, it's going to feel like you're only, it's like you're pressured to find a place that only provides shelter instead of comfort. But in reality, it's just because your structure, right, the old structure is, it's like the old facade is being replaced with a new facade that is much more loving. And so allow this time to be in a cave, in a sense, or to be in this shelter mode, and embrace that this discomfort is just momentarily, right? Things are going to illuminate, right? Things are looking brighter on the other side. It's just that for now you are seeing the sun, you know, and staring at directly at the sun, but not seeing that, you know, the way that you're viewing, the way that you're interpreting is feeling much more like this falling down of the tower, right? So Gemini, let's see what the astrological runes have as a final guidance for you. So don't be afraid of change. This is something actually that is coming through a lot in the recent readings. So let's see what final guidance has to come today for you. Okay, 2. Yeah, okay. So we have Neptune here and we have Libra. But the interesting thing, so when I turned this rune Libra, I saw the equal sign, you know, from maths. And it's talking about, yes, balance, finding balance again, but it's like celebrate what is not equal right now, because very soon it will become equal, and equal in a sense that is peaceful, right? Especially because Neptune, you know, Neptune right now is in Pisces, and Neptune rules Pisces, and so this is extreme confidence in your intuition. It's like allow your intuition to take place and to you know, it's almost like this bump in the road is going to be, you know, overcome if you trust your intuition and trust that the universe is pointing you towards the best option, even though it's going to be, you know, a higher risk than you're used to, right? It's just a bump in the road, and then things will become normal again. Things will equalize in a sense, right? It's like just temporary discomfort that then you are going to feel more comfortable than ever, right? It's like there are going to be reasons to celebrate, right? The human stick drawing that, you know, I saw in I think a couple of readings back with the Neptune, you know, celebrating. It's like there are going to be reasons to celebrate, even though now there is this bump in the road that it's going to make things a little bit scarier than they are, or darker than they are, or, you know, questioning if this was the best decision, but it was, right? It's like, listen to your intuition. The universe is pointing you towards the best decision, and it's going to be obvious. It's going to be shimmering. It's going to be shiny. It's going to be evident, like, what is the best option, right? Even though you're not accustomed to purchasing something that is so expensive, or doing something that, or making an investment that is so pricey, right? Trusting your intuition. So I hope this was insightful, Gemini. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.